I am the Magister Capellae, which is a wonderfully classical term for the music director. And I've been their director since the seminary was founded.
I started speaking Latin in 1991 because that was when I had my very first immersion experience. I began to be exposed to other people speaking Latin and speaking it very well as of 1985.
There comes a point in your life, whatever your field is in, but for mine it's sacred music, that you've done it for 51 years for me now, that the real pleasure of it and the real mission of it is to pass it on to another generation. The fact that these fellows are going to be priests, it's mammoth. To give them a positive musical experience is something that is a seed that gets planted. The harvest will come way later on after I'm gone. And that is something to live for.
There's a short answer which would respond to the question, why is a classical education so much a part of what we're trying to do here at St. Joseph's? And that short answer is really because it's the will of the Church, because it's the will, as expressed, of the Church by St. John the 23rd. And he gives a very forceful and explicit case for the importance of Latin in the education of priests and the importance of a broad background, a classical education in the true sense of that term, for priests of the Roman Catholic Church. What we're trying to do here is really just do what the Pope said.
Singing is a fundamental skill that many priests should have. Father Kauth is going out of his way to provide an opportunity for these young men to have a decent musical background, to be trained in some basic vocal skills, to know how music works, to know how the Gregorian chant works, and mostly to know what their tradition is as Roman Catholics musically, so that's where I come in.
We're trying to form priests who are able to do for their parishes what their parishioners need.
When we talk about music in the liturgy, we have to realize that traditionally music has been the handmaid of the liturgy. It's hand and glove. It is a pars integrans. It's an essential part of the liturgy as liturgy is done. Okay, so music is something that really transforms liturgy and brings it up to a different level. We don't do music for the sake of music in the liturgy, but we do it as far as what the music does to make the liturgy more effective.
People ask me about my methods. They ask me how I teach Latin because people often say, well, Latin's a dead language. How can you possibly be teaching it in a living way? The first thing I say is that a language is simply a communication system, and therefore it is intrinsically neither dead or alive. It's as dead as you make it or as alive as you make it. Language has to be experienced first, not dissected first. I'm always looking for communicative methodologies that make students hear the language, respond to the language, and do things in the language, and preferably fun things in the language, because that's how human beings were created to learn. That's how we learn naturally.
I'm not a fan of rote learning. I believe that you should teach someone a musical skill so that they can discover music on their own and learn it on their own. And this is an accumulated skill. This isn't done just overnight. So you just start at the beginning of the semester and give them some very simple exercises to start and teach them the mechanics of music. And Jen, I'm very proud of the boys. They respond very well to it.
Every time you learn a new language, it's like turning on the lights in a whole new part of your brain that might have remained dormant otherwise. And it's a wonderful feeling, and people, you should see the grins people get on their faces. That's one of the things that keeps me going as a teacher, is just watching students experience their own growth and rejoice in it.